Look at the millennial on his phone.
We back?
Look at the millennial.
Did you hit the red button?
Red buttons are hit.
Actually, we're not back, but we're just back.
We are back. Third time. Wow. Episode 2.11.
2.11.
In case if you didn't hear it the first two times.
Take
we messed
3.
It up. Take 3. And seriously, we were on a sabbatical. It was unplanned.
Planned.
Probably should have let the 3 or 4 people that watch this and wait for it to come out.
Yeah, we should have made an announcement. Yeah. I've been on paternity leave, right?
Paternity leave. Jack had a baby. All him.
All me. Yep. Wasn't nothing to it. I don't know what the fuss is all about. Everybody makes this big deal about a baby, but here we are. We got one.
You stepped up.
Yeah, she's right downstairs.
You took care of it.
Yeah.
You got it.
No problem at all. When you fish in the fleet that we fish in, it's cutthroat, things like this are just nothing.
All right. Well, let's get it straight that you are fucked.
Okay. That's what I understand. But we're going to try. We're going to do our best. It's exciting.
All right. For those of you who haven't been here before, watched us, you stumbled across us on the interwebs.
Somehow.
I'm DOA. I'm Donnie D, DOA Fishing Charters. Captain Jack Graham.
Aficionado Charters.
Spelled just like it says.
Offshore, inshore, best of both worlds right here.
And sometimes we have a guy in the middle. Captain Dave, salt-minded. And he is in town. I talked to him yesterday, having a few bourbon drinks he was.
Okay, what do you have to say? He's been out of town.
He said the same thing he always says. Let me call you when I'm done, and you never hear back from him.
He's been on his he's been on tour, right?
He has been on tour.
Yep,
he did
exotic dancing.
He did take a few minutes to tell me about his tour, all-male review, touring the country, wintertime gig. Tips are good.
One.
Tips are good.
You got to have one, Well, I've got one coming up. I've got a little bit of downtime, but my winter gig is coming up.
And meeting some really quality people. He is.
I would imagine. Yeah, where do you think all his charters come from?
I think he's performing in renovated double wides.
Nice.
somewhere up and down the Gulf Coast.
Well, we miss you, Dave, but you got to make that money. You got a family to feed.
All right, let me tell you a little bit about what I've been doing.
Okay.
I am not fishing.
Yeah, you are. You went fishing today.
Not fishing for money. Not fishing for money.
Okay.
I thought it would be wise to stop running trips around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because that's the way we've always done it.
Right.
And
then?
And then I go fishing every day again now by myself.
Have you been catching?
Not really. Some days I catch, some days I don't. A lot of scouting. That's what we say in the business.
But still some fish around.
There's a lot.
You're having encounters.
I'm having lots of encounters. I was so excited. I took my family today to show them the fish. It's like going to the zoo. I feel like I know where to see them every day. And I take them, and nobody was really that excited except me.
I know. Well, for us, there's just something about knowing they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. I hate to say it.
And these are reds. We're not talking about stripers.
I sound pompous, like I know what I'm talking about. I've been trying to pattern a school of reds. I read that.
Do they have a similar? Do they have a schedule or not really?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah, it appears to.
How about that?
But don't put it in a magazine or something. Then I have to put on a puppy shirt in there.
Well, it's all about the tide, right? For the most part.
They've been there. They've been in the same spot on both tides.
Huh.
And
must be all about the food then.
Yeah, but
or the warmth.
I don't know. The water's been the same temperature in the 50s. I don't want to get into this, man.
Why do we keep trying to figure it out? Because we never will.
I have gotten less bites than I've gotten bites. Let's leave it at that.
Uh-huh.
I have caught some, but
there's a sign.
There's a lot of fish, just not a lot of bites.
If this cold front pushes through and then December warms up like it normally does, it could be a good latter part of the month.
Yeah, and I won't make any money. I'll go out there and keep spending my own money on fuel.
Yeah, burning fuel. Yeah, at least they're close.
Yeah, true. But it still costs me money.
Yeah, and some, obviously, we, through this show, we put out a show dedicated to the bullshit striper regulations, and lo and behold, a week later, striper season was reinstated. We had Drum Bum Keith on here, and he had some beautiful knowledge to impart on us, and it looks like our message got through to them.
Did
and
I have
now
anything to
people
do
are
with
catching
that?
stripers. Yeah, you were here. It was your idea.
Oh, can I take? I'm gonna take the credit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this show should get a lot of that credit. You know, our giant audience heard the word, they got the word out to the marine fisheries, and now people are legally catching their one striper a day right now, and it's been pretty good.
We're gonna take credit.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And if you want to put us on retainer for such duties that need to be done like that, need me to rant and yell and cuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm your man.
And Reese has even written us a handwritten thank you note, I think. Hasn't he? No, maybe not.
We're hoping to get out of this locality where people actually don't know who Reese is when we bring his name up. Because I think
even if they don't know of him, then maybe they'll. He's fun to talk about.
Yeah, but yeah, he's supposed to come on here, and I keep putting him off. And it's just knowing that it's going to be a train wreck when it happens.
I know. Gosh, we should have had him on for the Striper show.
No, we shouldn't have. We put him on here when there's nothing to complain about because he's going to complain anyway.
Never.
Just put him on here when it's a happy sunny day and everybody's had a great day.
And then caught a lot of bluefish.
And then
maybe a Kobe on one of the buoys.
His people gave him all his bluefish that they didn't want. He kept 40 and nobody wanted them.
Yep. Well, except for the 39 because he used one live bait to catch a Kobe off the buoy.
He'll call me that night and tell me how good his bluefish is, and then he's having them the next morning for some special breakfast burrito he makes out of bluefish. And I just go, dude, that sounds horrible. But he tells me if you clean it just right, and well, who wants to put that kind of effort into it?
They're good if you fry them up fresh. They're all right. But you like tuna. I hate tuna.
It's not even the same ballgame, dude.
Ugh, tuna. Yeah, feed it to my dogs.
There's some stray cats in the neighborhood that I've tried to give bluefish to, and they just turn their nose up at it.
My hound dogs love tuna. And okay, so moving along fishing report wise, I saw some sheep's head catches along the bridge. Kind of cool. December sheep's head, pretty neat. Not much going on in the surf, I don't think. Been rough. Big waves.
That's funny because I go on this fishing report and I just say, yeah, fishing's been good on the surf. I don't know. When's the last time? The last time I fished out of the surf was actually a couple weeks ago, which would have been the first time in 30 years that I fished out of the surf.
You went surf fishing?
I mean, the backstory. One of the Turco boys and I went with the crew and it was a commercial. Chamber of Commerce funded a commercial for Dare County.
So they just filmed you cast?
No. All day in the surf. I was in waders.
You own waders?
No. I had to borrow a pair. Borrowed a pair of waders. But we had to surf fish. I was part of the deal. I was looking at, the day before they'd done a thing with Quentin Turco surfing and Brett Barley, a couple of surfers down in Avon. Yeah. You weren't invited.
I know.
There was guys that
can surf.
They have a lot of talent.
Yeah, younger than me too.
Yeah. And they filmed all day surfing, then they filmed the fishing part with us next day, Stefan, myself, and a couple other people. And I had to borrow a pair of waders, and I took some rods. I looked like I knew what I was doing.
Catch anything?
I did catch stuff.
What'd you catch?
Well, I had a couple bluefish.
Okay, nice. Reese will be proud.
I caught some trout.
Big ones or throwbacks?
No, they were really small, but I caught them.
Yeah.
I caught a flounder.
Exotic.
I had a Grand Slam.
Damn, that's great.
30 years. 30 year.
And it's just like riding a bike.
Got right back into it. Guys are bringing up I borrowed a couple of those sand spikes.
Yeah.
Borrowed some of those. I had some rods, big rods.
So you own some surf rods?
I borrowed.
Residual.
I had to borrow.
Okay.
A big rod. And then I had a medium rod and a trout rod. The only rod that got used was the trout rod.
Well, I appreciate that because you ever see all these commercials like the medicine commercials or on movies of people fishing in the movie when they have the fishing scene in the movie, and it just as a fisherman it always pisses you off because these movie people go through all these lengths like to get these people into character, and then they send them out fishing. They look like complete idiots.
Exactly. It's a whole different story we could get into, or a whole another rabbit hole we can go down. But I surf fished, and near the end of the day, they wanted to get some shots of make it really dramatic because it was choppy, but they wanted to make it really dramatic. So we had to get right on the edge,
down and dirty,
and they wanted to, cast and try
with
to hook up
spray coming over you.
Yeah, and they had a couple guys in the water with their housings and shooting us.
Wow, they went all out.
Oh, dude, it was. I'll get to that in a second. But I was soaking wet. Waders filled up.
You're
miserable. And it reminded me why I don't do this. Why surf fishing is better done by other people.
Well, if you're really good at it, you can stand back, you can cast.
Yeah,
you get your fish right up, you wait for that wave, and he comes right into you.
I caught all my fish on shrimp. I caught all my fish on shrimp.
It's a good bait.
All I have is jigs. Stefan brought some mullet and some shrimp, and I call it everything on shrimp.
The Turco brothers are not above using bait.
They're deadly.
Yeah, any means necessary.
But where I want to get to is the quality of the production. I feel like I've really stepped it up over the past decade in what I do. And I mean, I've watched a lot of YouTube. I've gone to YouTube University and tried to get dialed in with the jargon and all the gear.
Right.
And then you go out there and these guys had like, it was over $100,000 in cameras.
Wow.
And they had big boom poles.
So they hired a crew.
It was 25-person crew.
Wow.
No exaggeration.
Just for
counted.
So this is going to be a commercial.
Yeah.
That we're going to see you on TV.
Yes.
Okay. It's exciting.
But you and I, two guys, one guy crew, two guy production company.
Sometimes I put the microphone stand up.
And seriously, man, it was like, I don't know anything, man. I really don't know anything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I am so low budget.
A lot goes into it.
So there was one guy that all he did all day was sit there in a chair with a little umbrella. And he was in charge of stuff. But I don't know what he did. He must have been in charge of telling everybody else what they were supposed to do.
I want that job.
And it was just really impressive. If you geek out on stuff like this, like I do, I see your eyes starting to glaze over, so I'm going to move on. But I can't imagine how much money went into this production.
I can't wait to see it.
And I surf fished. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
And I got wet.
I'll call you next time I go.
And I got wet, and I was soaking.
Sounds like you're excited about it again.
The last shot.
You're reinvigorated.
The last shot they had was they wanted us to cook some of the fish we caught on the grill. So we had a little Coleman grill on the back of a pickup.
I had some bluefish.
We did. But make it look like friends, friends hanging out. And Stefan and I were soaking wet, man. We were sitting by the Coleman stove with our hands trying to get warm.
So it was really, it was actually real life, what it's actually like.
Yeah.
Out there soaking wet, miserable.
Yeah, trying to get warm around a little Coleman stove. Actually, I would have been in the truck with the heater going if it was
exactly.
And if it was really real life, I would have never shown up. You would have called me and I would have said, fuck that, dude. I'm not,
I don't care how good they're biting.
Well, yeah, I got a boat. Why do I want to go out there?
Yep, I know. Well, it's fun to catch them off the beach.
Oh, man. Well, that's cool. Well, look, we need to cut to a commercial. We're 13 minutes into this. The 10-year-old camera I have sometimes just cuts off.
Yeah.
For whatever
we don't want to take 4.
Yeah, and I hate trying to sync everything up. So let's take a commercial. Let's go to our sponsor, TW's. Cool?
All right. Yep. TW's coming up.
Red button. Yeah, Donnie D from DOA and Misguided Fishing. Check it out. TW's got everything you need to catch all the fishes. The rods, the reels, string, baits, from all the guys that make that stuff. Shimano, Daiwa, Penn, St. Croix, Yoseria, Meat Hawk, etc., etc., etc. You want to look fly when you're doing all that catching? They got you covered with gear from Salty Crew, Pelagic, Extra Tough, and more. You got questions? Ask away. TW's is staffed by people who fish every chance they get. They got their finger on the pulse of Outer Banks fishing. I haven't even scratched the surface of this place. It's like a toy store for grown-ups. So check out TW's Bait and Tackle in Nags Head, the Outer Banks' largest tackle shop. Milepost 10.
Red button. Been pushed.
Button.
Are you filming over there?
Yeah, back from commercial. TW's. How do we get so lucky to have guys like that give us gear?
I don't know. They're great guys too. They really are. We've got our videos playing in there now. So go to TW's, check out the DOA video, check out the aficionado video. Great day of tuna fishing was the video we shot. A lot of fun.
You guys had burgers. You guys were eating burgers.
Yeah.
Does that happen on the aficionado?
Yeah, we caught our limit of tuna and then our limit of mahi, and then we put the burgers on. And we came home.
Why didn't you have tuna or mahi?
Well, like I said, I don't like tuna. And that's illegal, Donnie.
If you keep the carcass?
Oh yeah, I guess if we would have kept the carcass, but no, we already had the burgers prepped. It was burger time. Got the fish. We don't like to clean the fish, as there's a fish cleaning service at the fishing center, so we just take them in.
Yeah, I never like cleaning fish.
I don't either.
I tell people, when I bought my boat, that was the last day I cleaned your fish.
I mean, I let most of my trout go that I catch in the surf. simply for the reason that I don't feel like cleaning them.
They're hard to clean, man. The speckled trout are really hard to clean.
Same with deer. I don't shoot many deer because I know if I shoot one, then I got to clean it again.
Yeah, but that's completely different. Speckled trout take like 5 seconds to clean.
I'm just exactly. Now that's how lazy I am.
All right, we're getting off topic. The giveaway last time. Do you remember the question?
Yeah, we had Gray
Davis
on here. His question was
Guides LLC.
Hide Guides LLC. Yep. I keep his hat in my truck, so I hope he doesn't get mad at me for not wearing his hat.
We just plugged his business.
But yeah, exactly. We're plugging it. He's going to get 100 trips out of this. Gray Davis. It was how many pounds of flounder is his best day ever gill netting flounder in Hyde County back when he was a commercial flounder fisherman.
Yeah, and you know what? Nobody was even close.
Really?
Not even in the ballpark.
They were way low or they were way high?
No, they were way low.
Way low.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't. They underestimated how much of a killer he actually is.
Yeah. Carter Upshaw goes to Virginia Tech University. I'm really glad that this has worked out really well for us. The shipping of we started, TW sponsored it, so we thought people would come in, they'd win the gift, they go in and pick it up from TW's, maybe buy some tackle to go with it. Everybody thought it was going to work out like that. Everyone so far has won it. I've had to ship the rod out, so I'm paying more in shipping now than I used to when we're shipping T-shirts.
Well, I mean, hey, you were the one that wanted things to spread out. And look, it sounds like we're getting people from far away, and they obviously probably know about the Outer Banks.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because I asked Carter, I texted him and I said, you live down here, you got a place down here? He goes, no, I only get down there once a year. So that's pretty cool. Somebody that's not local.
Yeah, thanks for watching, Carter.
So maybe he doesn't know who Reese is.
Did you get the rod shipped out to him?
The rod is just getting shipped.
Okay.
Yes, it was going out with all the Christmas gifts.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, Carter Upshaw, 3,500 pounds.
30. Wow, that's a good night, a day, or whatever it was. I feel like that's a lot.
I think it is. I think that was the point. He was happy. He was proud to talk about it. 3,500 pounds of flounder.
One day.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yep. That's getting them.
Anyway, thanks, Carter, man. You won it. And we have a question today for the next rod.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's our transition into the offshore fishing report.
Well, first thing I want to do is I want you to give the question.
Okay.
So we can get that out of the way. The next giveaway question.
Since we're this is December now, transitioning into looking forward to the bluefin season here on the Outer Banks. Very exciting times. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But my question is, what is my favorite bait for a giant bluefin tuna? Trolled bait, trolling. We'll be specific in that regard.
Your favorite trolling bluefin bait.
Right. So it's either a natural or artificial. What's my favorite one?
Turn around. The favorite bait you like to troll for bluefin.
Right.
The favorite trolling bait for bluefin. Is there any other way I can say it?
No, that sounds about right. Yeah. It's so I think maybe some people that know me might know it. But anyway, that's what's my favorite trolling bait for bluefin.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about the other day. As I said, my fishing is dying, or it's dead, it's done. For money wise, anyway, for me.
Right.
Some guys are catching striped bass at Man's Harbor. That'll be done as soon as the quota's filled or the water drops into the low 40s, whatever,
right.
Whichever comes first.
Yeah.
But I said your fishing is getting red hot. I've been saying that on the audio reports I give.
Yeah.
Offshore fishing is getting red hot, and you went, what? It is?
Well, I've been kind of out of the loop, with paternity leave and everything, but I've been paying attention. Tuna fishing, yellowfins. Very good, not real big ones, but keeper yellowfins.
Oh, please go through.
Yeah.
This
pup yellowfin to turbo pup size.
That's the size you've been catching.
That's the size they've been catching.
Pups, the turbo pups.
Yep. So
that tells everybody everything.
You've got a BLT. That's a barely legal tuna,
which would have to be 27 inches
at the fork. Yep, I think that's right. 27 or 28. Check your regulations. Don't go by me. Then you have a pup tuna, which he is a slightly bigger than a BLT. You can pretty much tell that you need to gaff that fish, that he's big enough. And then there's a turbo pup, so he's a little bit bigger than a pup tuna, and he gets gaffed as well. Then you got your 30-pounders.
So anything below 30 is a turbo pup or
turbo pup, yeah, or a pup, yep.
And you guys are gaffing the pups.
Correct, yeah. Yeah. Well, you're using that viter leader. You don't want to sling a fish that size. We call a 30-pounder a 30-pounder. We don't really have a name for that. And then you have your your buffs, which would be like 45 pounds and up, and then the city boys, which are like the 65 to 80, 90 pounders.
Which makes no sense. Is there any genesis to why it's called a city boy?
I guess, maybe like thinking about like the mafia or something like that.
Still makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't make it up. It's just what the names have always been.
That's the way we've always done it.
It's the way we've always done
and
it.
it makes sense. That's the way we've always done it. Just like we've always used TDs, and we're never going to switch over to.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's easier.
Never going to switch to lat long, which makes a lot of sense.
So that's been good. Weather's been kind of screwing us. Big swell right now. Can't get across the bar. Been blowing. So we're kind of, I've been to the boat yard, got all that done. Boat's ready.
Got what done?
Just the bottom paint, couple little aesthetic projects, polish the hull.
So you painted the bottom now, so you don't have to haul out in the spring and do it?
Correct, yeah. I like to get it done now when things get slow, and that way, March, April, fish start showing up and people want to go fishing. You have a nice mild spring, and then I'm not stuck in the boat yard, when everybody else is there. Getting trying to squeeze my way in, there might not be space, and having to block some days out, and then all of a sudden the phone's ringing and your boat's on the hard, and you can't take your people fishing. So go ahead and get it done now while there's money in the bank. Knock it out, and then once March and April roll around, we're there and other boats are not there. So I think it helps me out, as far as getting some early charges.
And not enough growth occurring right now to even on the bottom to even worry about it.
No, and I tell you, there's a buddy of mine is a diver, and he does for like $200, he'll jump overboard and scrub the whole bottom of your boat.
Oh, so if you got some moss on it from the winter, Oh, how about that?
Yep. So he'll jump over and clean it all up. So I think we haven't utilized him before, but I think this year we're gonna
maybe I'll haul out now and do mine.
Yeah.
Would I get a little better deal because I'm a smaller boat?
You would. It's probably by the foot. So he'll change your zincs if you want, stuff like that. So you don't necessarily have to worry about that. But I've got shaft zincs and rudder zincs, and
we have zincs. Outboards have zincs,
kinda little baby zincs. So then we're transitioning into bluefin tunas,
which is the real deal.
Well, yeah, they're a real deal big fish.
I like to mess with y'all, man. I really do like to mess with you, but bluefin, they're the real freaking deal.
They are, yeah. And you get some people kind of like, oh, bluefin, blah, blah, blah. But, it's a big fish. You got to have your tackle right. You got to use heavy drag. And, I think it's a lot of fun. It's a world-class fishery that we have here in the wintertime that a lot of people don't realize that it's here. And with the way the weather is in the winter, it's, kind of a challenging fishery as well. You got to go, you got to push to go when it's rough. And we commercial fish and take charters for it, but I enjoy it. I like catching those, every day you've got a chance to catch an 800, 900, 1,000-pound fish, and that's pretty cool.
It's the one fishery where you can actually, fish full drag.
Full drag, baby. Yeah. That's one thing I always tell people is do not be afraid of the drag, because that's the only way you're going to whip them. And the longer that fish is on the hook, the better chance he has of coming off. A 600-pound fish should take no longer than 2.5 to 3 hours to catch. If you got your shit right.
And you're using big tackle. Not you said before an 80 wide would be too small. Or it could be too small.
You can catch them on an 80, but if you're serious about it, you need a 130. And you don't mean people want to drag all these rods around. All you need is two. We used to just put 2 rods out, 2 long riggers, 600 feet back, and a naked ballyhoo. It's all, sometimes it's one of those heavy Joe Shoots heads we'll pull, but a naked ballyhoo, 600 feet back, and you'll get a bite.
How do you rig it?
So I like to crimp I like to do it like instead of the spike rig that goes underneath the weight.
Oh, this is the shit you got to know.
We got to
do one.
Yeah, I like to crimp my loop tight to the hook. That's the strongest possible connection you can get. So you just pull that crimp real tight to the hook, crimp it. The sinker slides down. The sinker is sliding up on the leader, rigging wire as opposed to a rubber band, and then you rig it like a split bill ballyhoo.
So like your white marlin fishing.
Like a white marlin J hook ballyhoo rig, or a mahi rig, just like a dink bait but with a horse ballyhoo and 180 to 200 pound test fluorocarbon leader, 30 foot. something like that, you know.
Chin
And,
weight? Did you
yeah,
say that?
yeah, yeah. Just I like a 1 ounce or even a 2 ounce. You want that thing down and really just swimming. It seems like it's more of a they like a more subtle a presentation. But that being said, they don't necessarily like a subtle color. I think a lot of times bright, stupid looking colors that you wouldn't normally pull, the pinks and the bright greens and the reds and stuff like that. A lot of times will get a bite out of a big dumb giant bluefin.
And are you guys fishing wind-ons?
Wind-ons, yep. Two. I think it's a 220-pound swivel. I like the clove hitch connection on both ends of the swivel. It just gives you a double line, a little bit stronger versus using chafe gear, because a lot of people like to snip their chafe gear in half, and it's just tedious. Just do a clove hitch, then your line's doubled. Never got to change it, and we'll even clove hitch our hook as well.
So what's start at the back end of the reel? Are you fishing braid? Or are you fishing mono on the back?
Braid backing, and then maybe a 800 foot top shot. Not a real big top shot. I like to have enough line that when it's coming out of my rigger clip, I've still got mono on there. Mm-hmm. I mark all my reels at 600 feet. We crank it off on a downrigger. If you want, you can get by it at TW's. They probably got the line counters, and it's a little thing and with a slit, and you stick it in the line, and as the line's going out, it counts for you. Let it back there 600. Mark it with a magic marker. Very important to mark your lines. Because if one's 400 and one's 600 and you make a sharp turn, they're going to come together and tangle. So I always tell people, take the time, mark your lines. You're fishing for one bite, do it right. Fresh leaders every day, because you're only fishing 2 to 4 rods. So yeah, 800 foot of 130 pound. I like to use Amalon. You get it at Melton. I don't think you can get it anywhere over the counter, or a lot of people just put straight 200. I like to be IGFA legal because there's a chance you could catch a state record. So it's good to have, good to be legal. 130 pound to a 200 pound test, 200 or 180 pound fluorocarbon leader. With, like I said, clove hitch on both ends of that wind-on swivel.
What kind of hook? Are you having to fish a 8.0 or are you fishing like a 14.0?
No, it's not. It's a 10.0. I want to say we're using a 7692 DT. The DT is for the strong one, Mustad. They sell, there's a couple other different hooks that guys use that I don't exactly know the brand, but a good strong 9.0 or 10.0 Mustad is fine. Don't freak out about using a big giant hook. I like a small hook. We do that deep drop and stuff at nighttime sometimes, where we're a Boston mackerel or squid and you drop it down with a weight on it, a couple hundred feet, drag it through the marks. And I mean, we're literally fishing a circle hook about this big. I mean, just a little teeny tiny, super strong circle hook. And that thing, I mean, it comes tight every single time. And usually it's just so buried in the corner of their mouth, you can't see it, So I like a small hook for everything. For for lure fishing for blue marlins, I'm a 9.0 or 10.0 guy. So nothing. Everybody in the industry, really worldwide, is going to smaller hooks. We catch blue marlins on our white marlin poles with 7.0 Mustad circle hooks all the time. So
yeah. I mean, if it gets in there, it gets in there.
Once that circle hook's in, it's in. We've experimented with trolling circle hooks too for the bluefins and had some success with that as well. So rigging it like you would rig a white marlin bait with the circle hook coming off the top of his nose. So it's something to try, but I don't think terribly necessary. But yeah, horse ballyhoo, split bill, or some kind of Joe Shoots or Hawaiian eye head, heavy chin weight. Or the Ron Z, man. The Ron Z is a
don't know what you're talking about.
It's basically a plastic worm about this long.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of guys are out fishing the ballyhoo guys some years on that stupid looking rubber Ron Z, and you can catch 4 or 5 fish on it on the same one. And if he comes off, you just throw it back overboard.
Well, go ahead and answer all the questions, man. If people call you, they want to go catch a bluefin. How many can you keep? What size do they have to be? How much? I mean, what can they expect?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll be commercial fishing when we're not charter fishing, and we can keep one a day commercially over 72 inches, a giant size, and sell that fish. As far as a recreational charter goes, you're only allowed one giant per year, and until the quota's met, and we don't get much recreational quota. So it's essentially up to the captain to where he picks. If you're on a charter and you catch a 400 pounder, if the captain feels like he can catch a better one then he might say, well, we're going to let this one go. So it's mostly for charter fishing, a catch and release fishery. A lot of times you have some yellowfin bycatch, maybe a big eye. You get to take those home. But I recommend it for people, man, just because of, you get in the chair, you're strapped into a potentially 600 or 800 pound fish. And if you want to kill that giant and you really want it, there's always, you can always probably use bribery and, offer a few $100 extra, and that might,
we can negotiate.
We can definitely negotiate. And there's the option. I mean, if you're legal, a lot of boats, it's kind of hard because it's expensive, but for me to be commercial with a charter, I can have, I have to have survival suits and a life raft big enough to accommodate all my people on the boat. So if I've got a 2-man charter and there's me and the mate and 2 other people, and we've got a 6-man life raft and 6 survival suits, then I'm legal, and we can take that fish, then we can take the fish. You can get the thrill of pulling it in the boat, and then I can go take it to the fish house and sell it, but it's good to check about that. I'm not really, into really advertising that, just because, it winds up kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
But if you're legal, you're legal. You know what I mean? And I tell people, call me about bluefins because it is pretty cool. And when the quota's eventually met, the crowd thins out, and a lot of times you see some really spectacular stuff. We see them busting on the surface and balling up bluefish some years, and the last couple years they've been on the ribbons, eating the ribbon fish. We take ribbon fish and skip them out of the rigger, and they'll come up and annihilate those things. So really, it's a lot of cool stuff goes on out there in the Gulf Stream in January, February, March. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Going to Costa Rica too, in between there. So I'm excited.
When
about
are you going
that
to Costa Rica?
I got a tournament fish.
When?
January. One trip in January for 2 weeks, a trip in February for 2 weeks, and then a March trip for 1 week.
And DOA got no invitation.
No, well, it's you told me you don't like to wake up early.
There's really no need to wake up early because you're not running that far up.
Well, I know, but when my boat wakes up early, we fish hard.
Can you get me on a boat that doesn't get up early?
Probably could. Yeah, you'd have to hop on a plane and show up, But yeah, we could probably find you somebody to go with.
Somebody that would take me. I don't want to. No,
it's a fun place to be. It's good fishing. Remember my question was what's the most blue marlins I've caught in a day, which was 14, I think, and that was Costa Rica last year. So anyway, a lot to look forward to this winter.
Yeah.
And start to get excited again and get back out there and start fishing hard.
Get a show in before Christmas if we're lucky.
Yep, for sure.
Next week.
We'll wear our sweaters.
And we're on place number 4, in case say, hey, that background looks different. The studio looks different. We're on spot number 4.
Yep, I think we might be here to stay for a while.
As long as your wife is okay with it.
She gave us permission.
Really never up to us where we want to be.
No, she gave us permission, but she's got her little craft stuff over there, and we've got our spot here, and we don't take up much room. So I think she's happy that I'm home.
Which is,
if the baby starts crying, I can hit the red button and get right down there and help.
Yep, and logistically, it's the biggest obstacle to getting these things out, man.
Yeah,
is where we do them.
Yeah, and we're close by now, so I mean it's a pretty easy drive.
Everything goes in one box, all the gear. It's just having somewhere to put the box and set it up. I mean, I pride myself on being mobile, but you still have to have a room to do it.
Yeah, and it's a heavy box. I don't like helping you carry it.
No, but you're right. It is heavy, but just having somebody say, yeah, you can set all your shit up there and do it.
Yeah, do it. Have
having
fun.
your wife say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Dave told us we could use his place, and
he sold it,
and then cut out of here with the dance troupe. So, what are you going to do?
Magic Mike and crew. All right, I'm Donnie D, DOA Charters.
Jack Graham, aficionado.
Check us out.
Apple Podcasts,
YouTube,
Spotify,
Apple Podcasts.
You already said that.
Later.
Peace out.